Good morning, Trinity, and good morning to everyone joining us today or watching this later. This week's worship service will be informal rather than using daily prayer. Each of these this week have taken elements from the readings that bringing us something a little different. I hope you'll be able to embrace that throughout the week. As some of you have seen already, this morning as we gather, we are invited to take time to lament. Lament is something unfamiliar to many of us. Yet, as we reach the point of the year when lockdown was first announced and approach an Easter, although different from last year, still very different from the one we had hoped for or expected, we naturally have begun to reflect on the last year. There is much to lament. The shape of our time together today will include readings of Psalm 88 and 77, music from the Trinity Choir, a responsory prayer, and the laments of our own community shaped in a litany for us to cry out to God. As I said before, lament may be very unfamiliar to us, and so I want to share with you an invitation to lament. These words come from Amy Dolan, who is a pastor of a dinner church in Chicago, and were written for a gathering she led last April. They include an invitation to move and engage your body if you're able to. However, if you're surrounded by breakfast, children, or anything else that means you can't, I invite you to listen to the words. To lament is to express sorrow or grief. Start to attune your body with where sorrow or grief are currently living in your body. We don't often lament in our culture, for many reasons, often seeing it as a weakness or too vulnerable, not knowing if others can hold and carry our pain and sorrow. Cover your heart, protectively taking care of your grief. And yet we see many examples in the Bible and throughout history. The Book of Lamentations is an entire book of lament. The Psalms of lament are songs of grief, and we even see Jesus cry out in sorrow before he faces death in the Garden of Gethsemane. Consider opening your hands just a bit. The invitation to grieve over things lost is good and right. Those of us gathered today promise to hold your grief best we can. You are invited to lament. You are loved. Extend and open your arms.
Good morning. Psalm 88. O Lord, God of my salvation, when at night I cry out in your presence, let my prayer come before you. Incline your ear to my cry. For my soul is full of troubles, and my life draws near to Sheol. I am counted among those who go down to the pit. I am like those who have no help, like those forsaken among the dead, like the slain that lie in the grave, like those whom you remember no more, for they are cut off from your hand. You have put me in the depths of the pit, in the regions dark and deep. Your wrath lies heavy upon me, and you overwhelm me with all your waves. You have caused my companions to shun me. You have made me a thing of horror to them. I am shut in so that I cannot escape. My eye grows dim through sorrow. Every day I call on you, O Lord. I spread out my hands to you. Do you work wonders for the dead? Do the shades rise up to praise you? Is your steadfast love declared in the grave, or your faithfulness in Abaddon? Are your wonders known in the darkness, or your saving help in the land of forgetfulness? But I, O Lord, cry out to you. In the morning my prayer comes before you. O Lord, why do you cast me off? Why do you hide your face from me? Wretched and close to death, from my youth up, I suffer your terrors. I am desperate. Your wrath has swept over me. Your dread assaults destroy me. They surround me like a flood all day long. From all sides they close in on me. You have caused friend and neighbor to shun me. My companions are in darkness. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
We share in the words of Lamentations chapter 1 in the form of a responsory. Please join in with the words on the screen in yellow. How lonely sits the city that once was full of people.
Roads to Zion mourn, for no one comes to the festivals.
Jerusalem remembers in the days of her affliction and wandering.
All the precious things that were hers in days of old.
All her peoples groan as they search for bread.
They trade their treasures for food to revive their strength.
For these things I weep, my eyes flow with tears.
For a comforter is far from me, one to revive my courage.
My children are desolate, for my enemy has prevailed.
My young women and young men have gone into captivity.
See, O Lord, how distressed I am. My stomach churns.
My heart is wrung within me.
we are now going to use words from members of our community to cry out to God for our own laments. So please join in with the responses in yellow. We say together, Lord God,
God,
we cry to you for the things we have lost, loved ones who have died, parents, grandparents, unborn children, friends who have moved away, physical touch, confidence, conversation, opportunities to be creative, opportunities to recreate, a hug that means more than words, our children's loss of friends, funerals that we couldn't go to, friends we could not say goodbye to. Lord God,
God,
we cry to you.
For the things we miss or have missed, sharing communion, seeing friends, seeing family, the birth of children, the opportunity to comfort a friend, welcoming people into our homes, chats between lectures, meeting new friends in the flesh, singing in worship, singing together, building community over lunch, our children spending time with their grandparents, getting to know people in church, coffee shops and afternoon teas, giving and receiving hugs. Lord God, we cry
to you.
Lord God, we cry to you for the things we did not want to gain. A greater sense of being misunderstood. A greater sense of irrelevance. Staying inside. Poor mental health. Being geographically closer to family and friends, but unable to see them. Greater responsibility for our children's education. We cry to you, O Lord.
Wait for the Lord. A reading from Psalm 77. I cry aloud to God, that he may hear me. In the day of my trouble, I seek the Lord. In the night, my hand is stretched out without wearying. My soul refuses to be comforted. I think of God and I moan. I meditate and my spirit faints. You keep my eyelids from closing. I am so troubled that I cannot speak. I consider the days of old and remember the years of long ago. I commune with my heart in the night. I meditate and search my spirit. Will the Lord spurn forever and never again be favourable? Has his steadfast love ceased forever? Are his promises at an end for all time? Has God forgotten to be gracious? Has he in anger shut up his compassion? And I say, it is my grief that the right hand of the Most High has changed. I will call to mind the deeds of the Lord. I will remember your wonders of old. I will meditate on all your work and muse on your mighty deeds. Your way, O God, is holy. What God is so great as our God? You are the God who works wonders. You have displayed your might among the peoples. With your strong arm, you redeemed your people, the descendants of Jacob and Joseph. When the waters saw you, O God, when the waters saw you, they were afraid. The very deep trembled. The clouds poured out water, the skies thundered, your arrows flashed on every side. The crash of your thunder was in the whirlwind, your lightnings lit up the world, the earth trembled and shook. Your way was through the sea, your path through the mighty waters, yet your footprints were unseen. You led your people like a flock by the hands of Moses and Aaron. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
When you come into your kingdom.
As we come to the end of our time together this morning, I want to say thank you to our choir for providing us with such beautiful music this morning. I also want to thank you for holding space this morning for yourself and for others. I want to encourage you to take time this week to give voice to your own lament. You may want to write or speak to a friend, a prayer partner, or a chaplain. It may be that your lament takes creative form, and I invite you to embrace that. Whatever it may be, as our Psalms remind us this morning, we are not alone in our pain, uncertainty, and grief.